Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Todd's Thoughts, or to put it another way, Todd Thoughts, Todd Thoughts, Todd Thoughts. This is the music corner. Now we got a new album, the 7th, by Arizona folk punk group AJJ, formerly known as AJJ and Jihad, back in the day, the OG day, which... it's like 10 years now. Feels like they just adopted that name, but they've been AJJ since 2011 with Knife Man, really. My relationship goes back about 10 years when I discovered them in high school. Those first 3 albums are solid. I could go off the deep end. I could kill all my best friends. I could follow those stylish trends. God knows I can make amends, but I've got an angry heart. Candy, cigarettes, and cap guns. People who can eat people are the luckiest people in the world and can't maintain our 3 solid albums. Gotta add in Only God Can Judge Me. They were definitely a lot more folkier back then.
Rejoice, rejoice, God's ears are stitches.
What I always respected is just their bluntness. It's not just shock humor to shock you. It's to actually get you to think about the thing they're talking about because they got shit to say. And that's the greatest thing about the DIY scene is people have things to say. These guys to me represent like the peak folk punk triangle. We're gonna go in parking lots and we're gonna sing protest songs, and it's just like it's still alive. And for whatever reason, AJJ decided to incorporate more elements into their music. Obviously everyone's influenced by a million different things, and no one enjoys playing the same type of song or the same genre over and over again. So they expanded with Knife Man, with Christmas Island, and with The Bible 2. Those albums lost me a little. So I fell off and I hadn't listened to their last couple albums, but then I saw them live and they played Copa Polia. Was it Copa Polia Knife Tattoo?
Hey dude, I hate everything you do, but I'm trying really hard to not hate you. Hating you won't make you suck any.
So I thought I'd try out the recorded version.
Hey dude, I hate everything you do, but I'm trying really hard to not hate you. Hating you won't make you suck any less.
I was really surprised when I found out that the production was not good. They have this weird distortion on the guitars that just makes them sound hollow, and the voice just has so much digital compression and noise. Felt like the production was doing the band a disservice. AJJ is at their absolute best when there's no filters, there's no processing, it's just people playing music in a room.
Killed your family.
Now with their 2020 release, it's sort of the best of both worlds. A lot of the songs do overproduce Sean's vocals, and they do make him sound like there's just way too much going on. I want to hear his vocals be more pronounced. I want to hear Sean singing in the room with me, and I feel like putting these digital layers on his voice just creates more levels of separation. Their songs have always been therapeutically intimate to the point where it's like you're uncomfortable listening to it because you feel like you're getting such an insight into someone's psychological state. It almost feels like you're doing something dirty by listening to them. So good luck, everybody. Starts out with a poem, a very tongue-in-cheek song about artists just using poetry to make money. Like, poetry is kind of the honest form of it, and then songs are like,
yeah, well, how can we market this bitch?
And if you don't give it to them, they'll starve. If you don't give it to them, they'll starve.
I love it when any band calls out the music industry. The consumption and production of art needs to be something that is discussed. AJJ have already stripped back a lot of the elements that were muddying up their last album. This one sounds a lot more clean. You can hear the separation of all the instruments. They're definitely taking a lot more 70s influence, a lot more like, I don't want to say psychedelic funk or psychedelic rock, but it has that same sort of feeling. 70s rock, epic feeling songs condensed down to 2 minutes. It makes it a lot more palatable than some of the older rock songs and the rock stylings. But it's also not particularly a sound that I enjoy. You hear that real heavily on Feedback.
I will walk along this ugly lake. Time to reconnect me to.
It really takes a lot to get into it, and it feels like the beat is almost going against the song. It's hard to get into the melody, and I think that's sort of the point. The song's supposed to make you feel off and uncomfortable, and it works, but it doesn't make me want to re-listen to the song. So, is that helpful or not? Great thing about Sean's lyrics and AJJ is how they can just cut through all the bullshit and hit you straight in the fucking chest like in Body Terror.
So sorry that you have to have a body. Oh yeah, I'm very sorry that you have to have a body. One that will hurt you.
Where he's apologizing and expressing his sadness that you have to live in a body, that you have to live with everything that comes with having a body, because it's not healthy. We are constantly fighting this thing we live in. We're either too big, too small, not the right size, not the right gender, what have you, and it feels like every single person has some sort of level of body dysmorphia or some sort of level of body imagery that goes against who they are or who they want to be. At least hits me like right at my root, and it makes me feel like, oh shit, guess I'm not the only guy out there. Hey, I'm not sure how this album's gonna hold up over time. There are a lot of references current and a lot of direct call outs to the president. This feels like a really politically angered album that you would hear in 2004 or during the Bush administration that I think we've sort of come out from.
For all the pussies you grab and the children you lock up in prison. For all the rights you roll back and your constant stream of racism.
AJJ does a really good job of picking and choosing sort of what to talk about and what not to talk about. But at the same time, they do hit the same points that we all hit, but that's also the point of the song, is saying that these are the only points we hit, when really we shouldn't even be looking at him. We should be looking at the people over here and the people controlling him, and where are the decisions being made and what are we actually doing? What is our reaction helpful? This album feels extremely timely, but I don't know if you pick this album up in 2 years and 3 years, is it still going to be relevant? Is it still going to have those same anxieties? I think yes, because we're constantly living in a state of anxiety, and I don't see that clearing up anytime soon, personally. They've written so many songs. They have so many songs in their discography that at some point you have to wonder, like, what are they putting their attention in? And when you do get a song that has message lyrics or sillier lyrics, then what is going into the musical track? And I feel like sometimes the musical track suffers. Maybe there's not actually melody there. Maybe they're just using another melody and kind of reworking it.
Mega guillotine, I love you.
Take with that as you will. That's just how I feel. Really like AJJ. I like them as people. I think they're great live performers, but I feel like their albums do not do them justice, especially the last couple ones have not fully played into the musical styles or the production style that best suits the band itself. So I'm glad on this one they stripped back. They stripped a lot of the elements. They stripped a lot of the noise and bullshit back. There's still a lot that they're doing on Sean's vocals, but it's not horribly distracting. I'm gonna give this album a soft jam. I say I enjoy it, and there's definitely songs on here that I'm gonna revisit. And I think they're back on the right track after the Christmas Island and the Bible too. I'm excited to see their next album and if they can kind of recapture that former folk spirit, because there's a couple of cuts on here where it started playing and I got flashbacks to people or to cigarettes where it sounded like their old sound, and it released that memory in me. If you're an old school AJJ fan, or if you're interested in folk punk, I think this album's a great entry point into their discography. You get a little bit of their second half and you get a little bit of flavors of their first half. Tell me if you have any thoughts. I'm going to be doing more musical reviews. Me, Grace, and Todd right here. I hope to see you here when I do those. Thank you for watching. Stay positive, everybody. Toodles. Bye.